Jai Gajanan. Ganeshaya Namastubhyam Herambaya Ekadantine Swanandavasine Tubhyam Brahmanaspataye Namaha. With humble pranams to all Parmacharyas, Acharyas and Gurus, let us continue our discussion and study into Jnanasara from where we left off in our earlier session. In the last session, we saw the answers of Ganaka to the question of who is the lord of the earth element. So, for which Shambhu had given was replying to Skanda and others, and in which Ganaka was narrating. Now, Sanaka is asking the next question. Please tell us about the lord of air element. Ganaka replies, now, the unmanifest Mahavishnu, he is lying on a huge lotus. Rudra is the god of Ahamkara, or the sense of I, ego. Shambhu's son is the deity of the air element. The air element is associated with speech, which is gross in nature. When it is uttered, when it becomes manifest as speech, it becomes gross. It forms a major part of all the 5 kinds of actions, including destruction and creation. So, the space element has a human form. Speech, as per Vedic parlance, has the shape of an elephant's face. This is the basic difference between the two. It is in space that the air element exists, and it is when the air becomes gross in nature, that is the speech in space. So with the movement of air, that gets a form which becomes speech. So the Lord of space is Gajanana, who is also the Lord of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti and Surya. So Brahma's power is adherence to truth. When he is creating, it is always adherence to truth. Now, the creator of air and its deity is Ishwara. Ishwara is the aspect of Brahma addressed as Ishwara, as per the Vedas. With passage of time over various kalpas, there is a change among who is the chief among the 5 Ishwaras. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti and Surya, these were the 5 Ishwaras. That is Brahma Deva, Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti and Surya were the 5 Ishwaras, and in each kalpa, one of them assumes a predominant role. So during the Rajasic period, it was Padmaja, that is Brahmadeva, who was the chief of the kalpa. During the Sattvic period, it was Keshava, while during the Tamasic period, the chief was Rudra. Rudra as one who manifested from the forehead of Brahma. So he was that Ardhanarishwara. Jagadamba is present in all the 3 periods as gunas, with Dinanatha, that is Surya's rays, illuminating everything as a sense of worship. Chief of the Ishwaras is chief of the gods as well. Whoever assumes the role of as a chief in that particular kalpa, whoever is the Ishwara, who is a chief in that kalpa, also becomes the lord of all the other gods. This applies to the god of air element as well. So it's the power of the air element that germinates seeds into creation, which was the Vedas in the first period, which was the kalpa of Padmaja. God of air element is Shakti, as per Shrutis. So over Kalpas, all the Ishwaras, that is Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Bhaskara and Shakti, have become self-dependent for governance during their respective Kalpas. Shakti's son becomes the lord of air element. So Girija too, in her period, was self-governed even though her son was born with one inch of herself, was established as the air element. The air element in the end, it takes the support of Kala Purush. What is a Kala Purush? The unmanifest Mahakala gets included in the cosmic egg. The union with the unmanifest is existence known as Kala. The entire existence, in its unmanifest form, is known as Kala, Kala Purusha, or Kala, and the Ishwara is called Kala Purusha. He gets to be in close proximity to Ganesha in his abode, that is Brahmanaspati. Kala Purusha is established in the form of Avigna, and if you are not in the close proximity to Brahmanaspati, be sure that there will be obstacles. So all the five gods, five Ishwaras, are worshipful of Ganesha in this world. Establishing themselves in the air element makes it possible for them for winning over obstacles that come before them. Initially, when the Ishwaras had to do this creation, they faced the obstacles, and so by establishing themselves in the air element, because in the air, so the air element only they could say the mantras, and therefore worship Ganesha, who was the remover of those obstacles. So that is how they establish, all these Ishwaras establish themselves in the air element, which helps them to overcome the various obstacles in creation. Therefore, the form and presence of Ganesha is constantly maintained by Shiva and others in their hearts. Even God of air element and others accept the authority of this Lord of obstacles. And therefore, they all became Ganapat following the yogic path. By pleasing Vignesha Ganesha, they were able to overcome obstacles within the air element. With his grace, and therefore they became strong. Foremost authority was given to Sadashiva, and the eastern board of Shiva's Kailash is the Swargaswananda. This was given to Ganesh Brahmanaspati, was born as his son, as Shiva's son. And that is a palace in Kailash which is known as Swargaswananda. Prathameshwar Shiva, Sadashiva, worships him with devotion. Initially, he had seen him as a light in his heart, and then he made an idol of what he saw, and he always is worshipping him with devotion. So, in the end of the Kalpa, he gets absorbed into this Lord Ganapa of Swananda. Shiva and other Puranas claim this Ganapa to be an ansh of Shiva, while the Devi Puran claims him to be an ansh of the Devi. The gods claim his birth from dirt and consider him to be the lord of the air element. But Prabhu himself says that he is Ganeshwara and different from the one who is born from dirt. So, had the lad been born out of the dirt, not been killed by Girijapati Shiva, then killing of Chandamunda and others would not have been possible. So also Ganesha, when birth of Ganesha in other lokas, as an Ansha, Vishnu as per Vishnu Purana, as Surya's son as per the Saura Puran, would not have been possible. So birth of an Ansh of Brahma with the name and form of Ganesha is possible only out of his own will, out of his own boon that he grants to those who meditate upon him. So, in the ancient Manava Shastra, the path of Ganesha is of three types. First is the Ganapata path of Brahma. When Brahma was there, when that was Brahma. Later, the second is the Ganesha Advaita Marga. Third is where the followers of Smarta Marga consider Shiva, Vishnu, Shakti, Surya equally. So, as the eldest, he is worshipped. This is the opinion of Smartas who are experts in Shuddha Dvaita. In all three types, there is an agreement as to the creation of this world in the ancient times by Pancham. Five Ishwaras who manifested from the Brahma, then united with Maya through consciousness, and in which Brahma established himself as Ganesh Brahmanaspati. The Atma or the consciousness in the five Ishwaras. He was declared as a first worship as he was the eldest. Shiva and others who follow the path of single deity worship, Ekamarga, consider their own deity of worship as Jagadishwara. Whoever was their own deity of worship, he was considered as the Lord of the universe, the Jagadishwara. So they became a part of Ishwara as he took birth as their son as a result of the boon granted by him. So the power of influence from a boon made him the most preferred deity, or as a or and also he being the first worship, it was happily accepted by all. So it's the same case, it is in the same sense that siddhis are granted by Vignapa as Brahma, that Ganesh grants fruits to his various devotees. So living in the heart of Brahma, he grants the fruits to all. So the unmanifest Ganesha is in his Turya state or unmanifest state, while Ganesha, who grants fruits of action for Smartas, Shaivites and others, is his manifest state of Pranava. So this is the subtle difference when you worship Ishwara and when you worship as Panchadevas. So in Panchadevas, he is considered as manifested from Pranava, why that is as in the manifested aspect, and in the other case, it is themselves who are in the heart. Ganesha himself residing in the hearts of the Ishwaras, who grants all the fruits of action. So the next question Sanaka asks is, please tell me about the Saura Marga. Now there are these various margas. Each one, all people, the public, the various the creation, all people in creation follow any one of the paths with which they have an affinity for, a natural tendency towards. So some may follow the Shaiva Marga, some may follow the Saura Marga, some may follow the Vishnu Marga, that is Vaishnava, and those who follow, then there are Shaktas who follow the Shakti Marga and the Ganapans. So each of them will follow their own path and attain the Ishwara residing in they will attain Ganesha residing in the heart of that particular Ishwara. Now, Sanaka is asking, please tell me about the Saura Marga, which is who are the followers of Surya. So Ganaka replies, the Smritis say Brahma created Savita, united with Maya. His wife was Savitri, who was his light of influence. He is Aranya Purusha, endowed with the three gunas and bearer of Ahamkara, sense of doership. He carries the sense of doership, and that sense of doership is present in all the Ishwaras, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahadeva. He is the Atma of the universe, round in shape, and has a form that is luminous. He exists as Surya, right in the center of the solar galaxy in the cosmic universe. Asad being, sense of being, is known as Vigna in the Kala Loka. we will be studying looking into later on Asad Brahma, Sat Brahma, Samabrahma and Sahaja Brahma, which are the performing aspects of all these Ishwaras. We will look into that later. Here, so, Vigna in the Kala Loka was the Asad Brahma. Now, as a regulator of the Kala Chakra or the wheel of time, the Lord Himself exists as Vigna. Because originally the Kala or time was existing as a Vigna. So Surya exists as a lord of Vigna. The form of Vignaraja itself is for the benefit of the world. How? He, as Hiranya, is a consciousness at the center of the Surya Mandala. He resides fully adorned in Hiranmaypura, that is the place, the abode, which is at the top of Mount Kailash, where Shankara resides. After death, it may or may not be possible to go to Saura Mandala. It may, so we'll go to this Hiranmayam Puram, which is there in Mount Kailash. But it is definitely possible for the Sauras or the followers of Surya to attain the Hiranmaypuram, which is located on Mount Kailash. So Surya influences the world in three ways. One in his Turya aspect, second in the unmanifest Turya Purusha, and third as the Atma of the world called the knower of the Kshetra. In the unmanifest state, in the Turya state, he is the regulator of Kala Chakra, the wheel of time. As Atma of the world, he has two forms based on the dual role of doer of action and one who causes it. There is also another duality based on the division of the supreme truth and the performer of actions. There are always two aspects, the unmanifest and the manifest aspect. So, as an unmanifest aspect, he exists a part of the truth, and the second aspect is in the action. In his Turiya aspects, he exists as the truth. His position in the cosmic galaxy is the doer of the action. His presence in the Turiya state is endowed with the three gunas. As you know, that Shakti is present in all the Ishwaras, in all her three paths, all her three gunas, in different permutations and combinations. So his position in the center of the cosmic galaxy is as a bearer of sense of doership in the three gunas. So when the gunas become part of every name and form, every form of creation, that sense of doership in each of them is due to this presence of the gunas in the Surya as in the cosmic galaxy, Surya Mandala. Surya was born from the eyes of Brahma. Surya is considered as a lord of planets. Earlier, Surya was considered the end of the circular galaxy. This was due to lack of knowledge of differences between one galaxy and another galaxy earlier means the limit of exploration expanded. So with the expansion we discovered more and more galaxies. So that's how the Surya's the presence of Surya is of two dual in nature. So Surya as the lord of planets and Surya as the doership. Those who do not know the difference between Surya and Surya as Lord of planets are ignorant, and those who say that he is the Lord of Loka are also foolish. The galaxy is gross and the earth within it is circular. Is one of those planets. The planets under the control of Surya is very much like the position of Jivas. So at the end of the Dinakalpa of Brahma, there is an annihilation of his authority over the planets. So at the end of the Kalpa of Brahma, he loses his power as the lord of all the planets and he gets absorbed into Brahma. We had also worshipped moon earlier. This Ganaka is telling we had worshipped moon also earlier. Surya devotees who worship him as a lord get absorbed into the cosmic galaxy. He is greater as the lord of the planets than he is as a lord of devotees, because that's a limited role as a sense of devotion. Next, Sanaka is asking, please tell us about the essential principles of Shakta philosophy. Ganaka replied, the eternal Maya of Brahma maintains a balance of all the three gunas that connects all from beginning of time, beginninglessness, that is where we don't know the beginning at all, from that time of Supreme Brahma, because she was the first thing to manifest as Mahamaya, as a reflection of Brahma. So before creation, two things were born from this Mama, that is ignorance and knowledge. A predominance of the knowledge is sattvic, while a predominance of ignorance is tamasic. So this was how the gunas were rated or how they were classified. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. It's depending upon the predominance of knowledge. So knowledge which is divine in nature says that Bhuvaneshwari is the incidental cause of this threefold form of this world. Prakriti, which is predominantly tamasic nature, exists as form, the physical, gross form. While the god having a tamasic predominant Maya is goddess Bhuvaneshwari. Knowledge and ignorance are dual forms of Shakti. She is the presiding deity of Shaktas. Hence, Shakti has dual aspects, one as a supreme truth, when it is the sattvic aspect, when knowledge is predominant, and the other when is her power for interactions with the world. Supreme truth of Shakti is her Turiya nature. She exists in the universe as a doer made up of the three gunas. Parvati is Shakti, a half part of Shiva. Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati are each endowed with one of these three gunas. Durga as the tamasic aspect, Lakshmi with the Rajasic aspect, Sattvic aspect, and Saraswati with the Rajasic aspect, are each endowed with one of these three gunas. Kali, Durga, Parvati, and Bhuvaneshwari are all Shaktis. According to the Puranas, Bhuvaneshwari is Parashakti, who is the very embodiment of knowledge. Parvati is goddess of mantras. Durga administers justice, or one who punishes. Kalika is the astrologer, who is another form of Saraswati. Parvati manifests as Mahalakshmi, Mahadurga, and Mahakali. The Shaktis live in Parvati's palace as conscious matter and perform all actions according to the desires, which is expressed as a power of intent, Ichha Shakti. Even though Parvati may assume the role of Kalika or Durga, Parvati is the beloved of Rudra and is always under his control. Kalika is the beloved of Kalagni Rudra, one who is a fire element, who annihilates the world, and he is invincible in battle. So standing firmly as his beloved is Durga, who will destroy all sorrow. She exists independently as a goddess of the universe, while with her self-willed husband, and plays her role in the fourfold forms. Fourfold forms means the awakened state, dream state, deep sleep state, and the Turyavastha. So universal God Bhuvaneshti is Parashakti, who manifests in the threefold forms of creation. Ganesha was born from the dirt of Shakti's body as her Ansh, consequent to a boon. Shakti had worshipped, and as a fulfillment of the boon granted to her, he was born as Vigneshwara. Shakti of Vignadipati was installed by Gananayaka. This is a brief outline of the principle of the Shakti principle. Then Sanaka is asking, O beloved best among benevolent men, tell me about the Vaishnava doctrine. Ganaka replied, when the Supreme converted made a reflection of himself, and from there he connected to Maya. With the predominance of Sattva Guna, he is addressed as Narayana and thus becomes Parameshwara during the Narayana Kalpa. Narayana in his Turiya state of being is called Mahanarayana. The whole universe becomes embodied with Sattva. So during that period, the essential predominant quality is that of Sattva. So Brahma, who was sidelined as a grandfather, was again reborn from the Nabi of Vishnu as Brahmadeva. And the tamasic Rudra was born from the middle of Brahma's eyebrows. Mahavishnu's Turiya state represents the supreme truth, which is the Sattva Guna. And this is Sattva Guna is for maintaining the operations of this world. His role is to see that the world exists. His area of governance is the entire Shweta Dvipa or the Milky Way. The whole area of Milky Way is governed by Vishnu, while he is operating, from where he is operating is Vaikuntha. Pleased with Parvati's penance, Vasudev Janardana manifested from his own body a part who was child Gajanana. That is, Gajanana was born, Brahma was born as Gajanana to Vasudev Janardana. Vishnu installed himself as Vignadipati in Vishnu Loka. Then Radha, Neela, Rama, and Bhumi were Vishnu's Shaktis, who manifested from his heart while he himself rests on Sheshanaga in Vaikuntha. Next, Sanaka is asking, please tell us, O knower of all doctrines, please tell me about the doctrine of Shiva. So Ganaka says, the unmanifest Brahma in his Turiya state, whose Shakti is Maya, comprises knowledge, both knowledge and ignorance. So again, Brahma, his reflection is Maya, and in the union of Maya and Brahma, from that Maya was two aspects, that was ignorance and knowledge. The best of Munis described Surya as the knower of the Kshetrajna. That is the one who knew everything, who had knowledge, was Surya. The Sattvic Maya is set in motion by Vishnu. That is, who spreads that knowledge everywhere, Vishnu. The Sattvic aspect of Maya. Brahma supported by Maya is considered Shiva. So, Brahma aspect, when he is fully supported by Maya, is auspiciousness, that is Shiva, the purity. That because originally Maya was totally pure, Shuddha Sattva Maya. So, pure Sattva Maya is addressed as Shiva Shakti or auspicious Shakti. Now remember that this is the Turiya aspect. In Turiya aspect, Shiva is purity or Shuddha Sattva. Whereas the Sattva aspect of the gunas of the manifest Maya is operated by Vishnu. So Shiva united with Shakti is Parameshwara. It is from Parameshwara that all the Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara manifested. When Rudra, this is the Shiva, Parameshwara is this Parameshwara's Mahakalpa. So when Rudra is at the center of the universe, he is known as Maharudra. So when his role is predominant, he will be at the center of the universe. The Turiya state of supreme truth is Rudra for operational purposes. Brahmanaspati rewarded Rudra for his intense tapas by being born as his son, named Kalagni, who became the embodiment for operational purposes. Maharudra has two sons, Shadanana and Gajanana. Shadanana is the Lord established for those who seek salvation. Shiva's son Gajanana is the Lord established for those who seek liberation. He is also the Lord of obstacles. He was also born as an Ansh of Shiva. So Nandi, Bringi, Mukha are all liberated Ganas who worship Gajanana. Rudra is a ruler and lord of the 8 cardinal directions called Dikpati. So Indra, Vanni, Yama, Varuna, Maruta, Kubera, Isha, Pataya are the designated 8 gods as per the directions. Another being similar in form to Shiva is Neela Rudra. Having said that, Sanaka asks, these philosophies of the 6 doctrines are well known. So please, I request, please tell me quickly which among them is the best to achieve success, name, fame on earth. Naturally, so when after listening to the description of the various Ishwaras, all their aspects, the gunas they control and they confer on their devotees. The question naturally arises in Sanaka: which among them is the one which will give me success? Success, name and fame in this earth, because I'm living on this earth now. Give me this. Tell me which one is the best. Ganaka replied, those who are well versed in Vedanta Shastras. Now, see, this is a normal way of explaining things in the Vedantas and Veda Shastras, that no one is. We don't say that I am saying a certain thing. It is said in the Veda Shastras, because that Veda Shastras are conversations between many experts on Vedas and who have passed through generations and lifetimes of experiences, arrived at that knowledge through meditation, contemplation, and discussion with various stalwarts, rishis, and munis, and that's a compilation. Vedas are compilations, and so as told in the Vedanta Shastras, the Ganakas replies, it is agreed that all 6 doctrines contain a wealth of knowledge. Not merely karma yoga or karma marga or jnana marga. Those skilled in the study of Vedas say that Nyaya Shastra are inexplicable in words. Each Shastra has its own importance, and one who meditates and contemplates on them becomes proficient in them. So, to consider it as Hiranyagarbha or womb of all creation is foolishness. They consider it to have manifested sequentially. This is the conclusion of those who follow the Ekamarga or singular path. Vedic Avasa Marga is known as Hiranyagarbha. Like it's just a basket where you have it all there, and it was created one after the. Those are all different opinions. So then Sanaka asks, "O Lord, then tell me what is it that unites all these 6 doctrines?" So Ganaka replied, Dvija, All Vedikas agree that Brahma is one. The fact that Vedikas have memorized the various Shatakams and Ashtakams is undisputed and they recite from memory. It is well known that Brahma is one. That all the six doctrines agree. He is eternal and Maya is beginningless. Maya, together with consciousness, becomes the countless, many, innumerable ways. It is a belief that one who knows the Kshetra and Ishwara are one. They are separate only for operational purposes. This opinion is the same in all the six doctrines as stated in the Vedas. The connection of Ishvara with the Jiva is that of a witness alone, the Sakshi Bhava. The creation of Maya was intended to be based on pure truth for carrying the work of creation in this vast universe, in this vast world, according to experts. So, the ageless Shatakam are known for attaining the supreme truth. Shatakam means the six doctrines are known for attaining that supreme truth. When Lord of Jivas ends in Tamas, he gets merged into Ganesha. Veda Shastras say that the unmanifest, united with Maya, Brahma, was Isha earlier. So the first was Isha when the Brahma was united with Maya. Then consciousness, when united with Maya, became a witness of all. And when Maya unites with mind or mental matter, Chitta, Maya becomes a tool in the universe. So, in its gross form, even though mind itself is subtle for us, but for the universe, when it becomes relatively gross, so it becomes a tool in the world. Apart from being a tool of assistance for Maya, it also becomes an appearance in the world. One who considers Maya as a knower of the field he comes to be known as a Jiva. Maya, which is predominantly tamasic, such as Bhumaya, tamasic gross. So it is Bhumaya is called Prakriti. Brahma, when united with Maya, leads him to a witness state. Now remember that all these are at the macrocosmic level. When Ishwara as the supreme truth takes birth for operational purposes, he becomes a kshetrajna, that is, knower of the field of action. And so he fulfills a very great purpose. The first state of Maya, in which where all the three gunas are at peace, that is, are all equal. The second state of Maya there is a predominance of Sattva guna. When Sattva in Maya is contaminated, she becomes grosser, and that the supreme state of Maya, where all three gunas are at peace, becomes a form of Bindu. So it is only through a fortunate union of the mind with the predominance of Sattva that holds a potential for the birth of the witness state. So we need to have a sattvic mind in order to be able to get connected to that witness aspect in us. Sakshi Yoga enables the Devi to be born from Ishwara. A jiva too moves up. So this is how the Sakshi Bhava at the witness state, manifestation of the witness state at the Brahma level, at the Maheshwara level, is a dissension, whereas a jiva, when we go from the gross tamasic, this anna sheath, the food sheath, when we grow progressively subtler and subtler, we move from the gross form to the subtle form, to the state of witness. Again, it is through yoga that the gross, subtle, and causal bodies were born from Ishwara out of his own desire. So, Maya herself, the Shakti aspect, the reflection of the Supreme Brahma, which got divided into three, that is Brahma Maya, Sakshi Maya, and Isha Maya. This is considered to be one who exhibits an illusory sense of being. Since ancient times, this vast expanse of creation has seen innumerable shatakams, famous like the famous shatakam, which is evidence in the Veda Shastras. The foremost kshetrajna, the knower of the kshetras, is Isha for practical purposes and is considered special because he is especially endowed. It is a belief that Maya, as a witness, is the supreme truth of Ishwara. So, as Shiva, as a witness, Sakshi, that is the aspect of Maya which is the supreme truth of Ishwara. So, without absolute purity, Maya is called Sagunam Brahma. Those well versed in Vedas say Sagunam Brahma is of five types. One is Sagunam, that is with attributes. So, with attributes, it is of five types. One is Karyeshwara, that is for Lord endowed with one guna. Brahma and other five gods, especially Vedas and others, Shiva and other Ekamargis are all lords of themselves in the Turiya state. Causal god as Karyeshwara, then causal god as stated by some others are operational gods. And Ganeshas who follow the Vedic path have heard this from Ganesha himself. That is during the Vinayaka Kalpa. Conferring the position of Brahma or Ishwara to Shiva and others are with reference to their positions or duties allotted to each of them. Brahma's son Shambhu. Now see here how the complexity of gunas begin at the macrocosmic level. Brahma's son Shambhu hurt Brahma by cutting off his head with the intention to hurt. Then Rudra cut off the head of his beloved son in order to hurt Shakti. Hurting Dinesha, Lord of Planets, was for birthing the different yonis, species, whose responsibility is that of Vishnu. So, and the reason is for hurting Vishnu. So, when the reason for hurting Ganesha being hurt of Vedas leading to being Shiva's son. So that is how when Brahma was hurt for having hurt in the Vedas, that Brahma became born as Shiva's son. So it is not for without reason that Vidhi is called the causal Ishwara for all the five Ishwaras. So that who is known as Vidhi, Brahmadeva, he was the original cause of all the Ishwaras. So it was from that Brahma that all Brahmas were born. So through the yoga of Maya, Paramatma established himself in all the five gods, making them causal Ishwaras in their respective areas, kshetras of administration of this universe. And in that role, Ganesha is a Pancham. Besides, the Vedanta Shastras also agree that the Turiya state of all the four contribute to the macrocosmic form of the world. So, also the Turiya state of Pancham is known as the cause for expansion of Shiva and others. Turiya state of the Ishwaras contribute to the macrocosmic form, whereas the Turya state of the Pancham, the fifth Ishwara, was the cause for expansion of Shiva and others. So Ganesha is considered as the unmanifest causal and as the eldest of the five gods. So therefore he is worshipped as Gajanana. So Purusha is considered as the Kshetrajna, knower of the Kshetra of the Prakriti. When Isha is separate from Maya, he is the best of Kshetrajnas because that is the pure Sattva Maya. Maya assisted Isha becomes specifically unique as he is a witness of Ishwara himself. So Shiva is the Sakshi, that Shivoham, that I am. It is well known that Bhanu is the Kshetrajna of Shakti Prakriti. Bhanu Surya is the Kshetrajna or the knower of the Kshetra of Shakti Prakriti. Vasudev is Vishishta, while Shiva is conditioned. So the yoga of consciousness results in the witness state, the Sakshi Bhava, which is considered supreme. Without yoga of Brahma, Maya is false and has no existence. And the connecting bridge or connecting factor is witness, Sakshi. Mahamaya is essentially gross, and being the youngest is the least respected. Brahma, conditioned by Maya, becomes the Lord of Shiva and Vishnu. Keshava is more balanced than Shiva as mind matter. Ravi is more expansive as per the Vedas. Now Sanaka is saying, you are to Ganaka, you are the master of all. So tell me that one path of worship which is common to all the five equally and serially. So there are many paths. So in that, tell me about the path of worship, bhakti, which is there, which is common to all of them. All the Ishwaras practice that kind of bhakti. So Ganaka replies, Shakti, Surya, Rama, Ishu are all absorbed in the one deity, that is gross, the physical, the manifest form, which becomes possible only for those human beings who do karma and bhakti. Surya is a lord of karma, and followers of Saura Marga are called Sauras. Sauras and Vaishnavas were later addressed as Vaishishta. So also Shaivas, Shaktas and Ganeshas observe the Nirguna path and follow the path of the ancient karma as a basis. Those who are faithful to their dharma is the path of sadhana for attaining the supreme truth. The main of God of dharma is Vishnu, and he is worshipped with Rama. The main god of wealth is Shambhu, while Shiva is worshipped by Kama and other devas. Surya Brahma is god for liberation, worshipped as Gajanana Pancham. So the serial order for it, so all these five Ishwaras are worshipped differently. The serial order for attaining the supreme truth is called Dwarakrama. Dwarakrama, the entrance or the serial order of entrance or the stages. Those who are inclined to worship the Devi worship her as Kshipra Prasadini. She was sought first, followed by Surya, then Vishnu, Sadashiva, and Gajanana for attaining the final union with Brahma. So Shakti was the Asad Brahma, Surya is a Sad Brahma, Vishnu is Samabrahma, Sadashiva is Sahaja Brahma, and Gajanana is then the final door or Dwara Krama in that stages for attaining union with the Parabrahma. In this manner, all three paths prescribed by the Vedas are well known. The Ganesha Dwara mentioned earlier was where gods were previously absorbed. At the end of the Kalpa, it was the Dwara or the stage where all the gods themselves were absorbed. Finally, Sanaka asked, O teacher, then tell me about Ansh of Brahma for all the five gods. What do you mean by Ansh manifestation of Brahma for all the five gods, for all the five Ishwaras? Ganaka replies, Ganeshas believed in Pancham Brahma, who is Swanandesha Brahma, who is illuminated by Kalas, which are 16 in number. The unmanifest Ganesha has 8 kalas as adornments, among which is Prakriti as an added kala in the form of Shakti. Surya is known as Kshetrajna, is endowed with 1 kala. Vishnu endowed with 2 kalas has a Vishishta personality. Shambhu adorned with 4 kalas is Ishwara, considered by Maya. And Siddhi Buddhi are adorned with 8 kalas, separate and distinct. So we shall see more about these kala ansh kalas, or that part ansh of the supreme who get manifested in these ishwaras for different purposes in later course of this study of this great scripture Vinayaka Rahasyam. This concludes our session for today. We shall meet in the next session. Jai Gajanan.